Hi, sales enablers. In sales, first impressions matter. And with Showell, your brand is the first thing your customers see. Whether it's your logo, your colors, or your digital sales room, strong branding builds trust, reinforces professionalism, and gives your team that consistent, polished edge. So let's take a look at how you can bring your brand to life across your Showell workspace. To get started, go to Admin, then Branding. This is your control center for all things visual. By default, you'll manage a single branding setup. Let's walk through the options. First, upload your logo. We recommend using a PNG file with a transparent background. You can edit or replace it at any time. Then you can add your website. Now, set your primary color in hex format. This appears behind your logo in the top left of the Showell app, and it's also used in your digital sales rooms. You can optionally define a secondary color too. Next is your icon. This one shows up in email notifications and user invitations. Now let's tailor the digital sales room even more. Upload icons for both light and dark mode. You can also set a wallpaper. We recommend something clean, not too busy. Then choose the overlay text color. This will apply to section titles in your shares. Make sure it contrasts well with the wallpaper for good visibility. Optionally, you can also choose to hide Showell's branding in the footer of your digital sales rooms. If your workspace serves more than one audience, the multi-brand feature is a great fit. It lets you define multiple branding sets. So if you're supporting different brands, dealer groups, or customer segments, you can give each one a unique identity. Different logos, colors, and wallpapers. You can even reuse your logo, but customize the visuals around it. It's ideal for tailoring individual digital sales rooms, each one feeling distinct and fully on brand. So how does it work for the users? Generally, they'll see only the default brand. But with multi-brand enabled, users can pick which branding they want to view from their user preferences. And when they create a share, they can select the branding set that best fits their prospect. All right, now let's talk about custom domain. This gives you a personalized web address for your workspace. Instead of a generic link, your customers will land on something like sales.yourcompanyname.com. It keeps your brand front and center. And if you're using a multi-workspace setup with Showell, you can assign the same domain format to each workspace. To manage this, click Admin, then Custom Domain. You can easily set a domain that ends with showell.com. But if you want to use your own company's domain, like your website, you or your IT will need access to your DNS settings. Check our Help Center for step-by-step instructions. Now that we've covered your custom domain, let's explore a few more ways to visually shape your workspace. Let's start with the top-level folders. You'll find these when you go into edit mode on your home page. Open the folder properties of one of these main first-level folders. Here you can define a wallpaper. This image becomes the background for that folder and all of its subfolders. It's a subtle yet powerful way to create a consistent and branded look across larger sections of your content. Note that this wallpaper setting is only available on top-level folders, so it's a great opportunity to set the tone for different divisions, product categories, or regional teams. For any other folder, and also for all files, each of these can have its own thumbnail image. And by default, thumbnails are created automatically. For files, Showell generates a preview from the middle of the document. For folders, the system uses the first file inside that folder. But you're not limited to these defaults. You can update thumbnails at any time. Upload your own custom visuals to highlight key content. It helps users instantly recognize what they need, improves navigation, and gives your workspace a polished, professional finish. If you're ready to tailor your workspace even further, keep watching. In sales, first impressions matter. And for your team, that first impression is your Showell workspace. By default, it's a wall of folders. However, with the Layout Builder, you decide what your team sees first and how they move through your content. A branded homepage, guided navigation, pages for products, campaigns, and events, all built inside Showell. Every page is built from customizable blocks, ready-made sections you stack, arrange, and style to match your brand. So let's have a look at the range. A hero for your headline moment, and links laid out as clean, clickable cards, tailored just as you like it. Buttons in different shapes and sizes that send people exactly where you want them. File lists is a block that gives quick access to new and updated materials, or also recently visited or recommended files. While file grids showcases all your folder content and updates when you add new materials. You can use a carousel to showcase multiple images or even hero blocks to truly put them in the spotlight. And then there is the Search Assistant, AI search, right on your page. Your users can ask a question in plain language and get an answer without ever leaving your layout. To demonstrate with an example, a product question gives us a clear answer and even provides a direct link to the document it found its answers. Last but not least, there are still boxes, images, spaces, and text that give you the freedom to create exactly what you have in mind. 2 quick things before you build. First, switch it on. In Admin, open General Preferences, scroll down to Experimental, and enable the Layout Builder. Second, your brand fonts. Within your application resources, drop your font files into the folder named Fonts. They will show up as pickable fonts in the builder. Now, Themes. This is your template library located under Admin Themes. Besides Showell's ready-made templates, you can create some yourself. Build one or multiple layouts for product showcasing, folder structures, campaigns, or anything that comes to mind. You can reuse these on any folder and then just focus on making those final adjustments. Time to build. Let's first switch to Edit mode, and then click Change next to Default Theme right under your folder title. At the top, you'll find your workspace themes. But for now, let's start from scratch. We've landed in the editor. On the left, you'll find access to an outline overview to see nested elements. You'll also find the blocks we've explained earlier. These you can simply drag and drop into place. That theme menu up top swaps templates anytime. It resets the page so you'll get a warning first. And changed your mind on a block, just undo. Nothing is final until you save. Right above your page, quickly swap between phone, tablet, or desktop view, so you know how the template looks across devices. With nothing selected, the Properties panel provides options for the page itself. Let's start by adding a wallpaper. Next, we add an overlay so text stays readable. 50% white will do. Notice that also your workspace brand color is available when picking a color. From here, you can also pick a base font for the entire template, but this can be overwritten per element. Let's add the first blocks, a space at the top, followed by a hero right underneath, your headline banner right at the top. For most blocks, you start from a variant, a preset style. Pick the one closest to what you want, then adjust only what you need. Let's customize this hero. We add our image and decide on its best position. Back will do nicely here. Then we make a small adjustment to the height, and we could round the corners some more. A radius of 16 will do nicely. Under the subsection Title, we can adjust its text and also make changes to the font, its size and color. If you keep the font Inherit, it will go with the base font we've set on the page itself. A quick tip with colors. When you go to the Custom tab, you can drop a hex code or use the slider to add transparency. For this example, we'll go with white for good contrast. The description text underneath has the same options, so let's set it up so it fits nicely. A hero is an invitation, so let's give people somewhere to go, with buttons. These link to content in your workspace, a folder, a file, a presentation, or any website you choose. Let's add a few, such as Discover Products, Solar Tech Expo, and Acme Network, each with its own icon for a polished touch. See that translations link beside the text. Provide any text with translations, so users can navigate Showell in their own language. On to the next. A space block adds a little breathing room, and a heading, Our Brands, titles what comes next, centered, bold, in your brand color. A quick tip while we're at it. When you create a custom variant, remember you can always save it for later use across other templates you build. Let's change the font size, and color, and then we continue by adding our next block, links. Links show as big tiles, but before we jump in, you can see the header is lacking some white space. Let's make a quick adjustment to the padding and remove this space block by clicking its trash bin icon. That looks better. Now, back to the links. We will create a custom look, and the first thing we do is change the size of our thumbnail. Next, while we can add links one by one, in this case, it goes quicker to add multiple at once. Once we've selected all the folders we want our links to lead to, this by multi-selecting each folder's checkbox, we'll set up the first on Acme Wind. Let's pick a fitting thumbnail, such as this wind turbine image. Now let us repeat the process for the other links. Nice! To save some time, we click the duplicate icon. So instead of rebuilding, we keep the same look and feel for our second row. Now we just repeat the process and add 4 more links. Next, a services section. Let's copy our existing heading and drag and drop it into place. A quick name change and we're done. Let's add a new row of links and style these a bit differently. For example, let's not use thumbnails this time, but use a color instead. Once our links are in place, and to finish, let's showcase our brochures, a heading, and then the carousel block. A carousel rotates through your best content, one slide at a time, and each slide here is a little hero of its own. Within, you can drag and drop multiple images or hero blocks, or even mix and match. We'll add 3 hero blocks: wind park systems, sustainable energy farms, and renewable energy solutions, each with its own image and an open presentation button. One last step, hit save. Here's one more note. Nothing goes live until you save. The moment you do, your page is live for your whole team. So, go build! Branded homepages, product and campaign pages, guided selling paths, even dedicated hubs for dealers or partners. And it even pairs with kiosk mode for trade shows and self-service. So, with Showell, you'll keep enabling your sales teams,